So I'm genuinely already starting to get this comment through a couple of my comment sections, whether it's on videos, through the community tab, whatever it might be. It's also something that I've seen is already starting to be a debate and conversation amongst Richmond fans, amongst AFL fans, whether that's on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X videos, whatever the hell you call that page this day. And that's, of course, who is going to be Richmond's captain in 2026? Is it going to be time to change the captain? Now, I made a video very similar to this last year, talking about who I think should be the captain in 2025. And to kind of repeat the words that I said in that video, I really felt like it was too soon to change the captaincy. I felt like Toby Nankervis was doing an okay job. It's not like I am totally thrilled, compared to what we used to have with Trent Cotchin and even Jack Rewell, Alex Rance. Previously, Dylan Grimes in his prime, Shane Edwards when he was there. Him and Josh Caddy had some leadership back in the day. I won't pretend that what I've seen from Nank has been great, but it's very obvious that Nank is an exceptional leader off the field, and behind cameras we don't really see it as much, but it just has been, I think, public knowledge now that he's been a very good captain. But like I said then, I think it was kind of too early to change it. I didn't really mind the leadership group that we had and that I think we're going to have next year of Tim Torreno, Nathan Broad, Tom Lynch and Jaden Short. But there are questions now being asked for 2026. Are the Tigers going to change the captaincy, and is it finally time? And I think this has really been sparked as well as we've been hearing a ton of off-field rumors that Tim Torreno's leadership has just skyrocketed every year since he's been at Richmond. The reports are saying that a lot of the younger boys have really gravitated towards him, like a Sam Lawler, a Josh Smiley, Sam Cummings, Sam Grill, etc. A lot of those midfield boys have really gravitated towards him and have seen him as a really good player, a really good leader to learn from. And that's kind of sparked, I think, conversation on what's going to happen for next year. Now, I do think it will be a discussion this year. I don't think it was a discussion last year. It was Tim Torreno's first year in the leadership group, and I think they wanted to let him develop and let him learn. And I don't think it's going to be anyone else this year in that conversation. Like, there are, of course, other leaders we could look at. I think some could argue that Jaden Short may even be the best leader in the group. And there has been a lot of talk about Jaden Short being a very, very good leader for some time with Richmond. But the thing with Jaden Short that's a little bit worrying is I remember in 2024 when he had his historically bad year, and there were games towards the end of the season where it just genuinely looked like this guy should probably not be in the team. But in 2025, he really corrected that. He had a bounce back year and he was pretty good. Had some shaky games, I think, towards, certain points. But for the most part, he was pretty good. And, he was one of our better players last year. So maybe captaincy could be back on the table for him just because of that. But I felt like it was very much taken off in 2024 when his form wasn't that good. And you can't have a player be your captain who, you question about this guy getting a game. Of course, that's not the situation anymore. He's easily in the Tigers' best 16, let alone best 23. But I just don't know about that. You don't want a Jaron Geary situation where the guy can't get a game and he's the freaking captain of the club. Now, Tom Lynch is a part of the leadership group as well. Unfortunately, with Lynchy, too many injuries. He's just injured every other day of the week. And when he's not injured, he's trying to freaking Batista bomb someone's head in with his elbow. Getting suspended for a couple games. He can't be doing that as a captain. And maybe he'd cut it out, but I don't think he will. I feel like it's really in Lynch's nature to be as rough and tough on the field as he possibly can. So I wouldn't expect any different from Tom Lynch. So you can kind of rule him out there. And then there's the other one who has really improved as a leader over the last couple of years. A guy who stayed strong with Richmond that a lot of people have considered as a massive candidate to be the captain as well. and that's Nathan Broad. Now, Broad is another guy who's easily in the 16, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. The only issue is that Nathan Broad did go on radio at the start of this year, and he said once his contract is done, he will be looking to retire. And his contract will be done by the end of the 2026 season. He will be retiring in pretty good form, and he's not going to be playing till he drops out of the side or anything like that. Again, there are reasons for this. He did say in this same radio interview that him and his wife are kind of itching to get back to Perth and kind of raise their kid, over there, and maybe, continue to raise the family, obviously, over there. Both are from Perth, Western Australia. So that's pretty fair. He did say he wants to be a Tiger for life and loyal to Richmond. He's not going to go play for West Coast or Fremantle or anything like that, even though they would love him. So that's kind of cool to know. But as mentioned, he did say at the start of 2025, or it may have even been early 2024, now that I think about it, that he will be retiring once his contract is done, which is a bit surprising. It's something that a lot of people don't talk about. I do kind of hope he changes his mind, and he could still, it's still like a whole entire year away, but it does look like this is going to be Nathan Broad's last year, even though he's playing elite footy, which does suck, but it also means he's not going to be captain. They're not going to make a guy, they're not going to take captaincy off Toby Nankervis to give it to a guy for a year and then watch him retire. It's just not going to happen. So he's going to stay in the leadership group. I hope he plays on. It would be great if he did. But yeah, that's what he said on the radio interview, and that's what it looks like he's going to be doing. So it kind of comes down to Tim Taranto or Toby Nankervis. Now, it is a very tough situation. We could be coming to a situation where they actually make them co-captains. I feel like that's something that not a lot of people have talked about, is the fact that they could be co-captains. And I feel very strong about that, because it's not like Nank has done anything wrong. Nank does drop off in the second half of the year. He's done that last couple of years. The first half of the year, he plays like a top 5 ruckman. He's been doing that the last couple of years. He also is great to have in that midfield as a leader for a midfield that's going to be injecting 18 and 19-year-olds over it in next year with Sam Lawler, Sam Cumming, Sam Grill, Josh Somali, Taj Houghton. Having a ruckman who's consistently a great leader in there is a great thing, and it's one of the reasons he's captain, is because of what he can do. But Tim Taranto as well, does it fit the age demographic a bit more? Yeah. Until a couple of the other boys are probably ready to contend for being a captain, like a Sam Lawler or Josh Smiley, whoever else it might be, hopefully in the next 5 years, you could have Tim Taranto as the captain for the next 5 years. He could be another bridge captain till we get to someone different. But the thing is that, as I just mentioned, Nank hasn't really done anything wrong. And it's not like the Tigers have been scared to make co-captains. After Trent Cotchin, we of course had Nank and Dylan Grimes. I almost wouldn't be surprised if the Tigers went down that direction again and gave Taranto the co-captaincy with Nank. It also would be good to give, of course, Taranto a guy to be captain with for maybe a year or so, while he doesn't have, he can have some of the pressure on another guy, and he doesn't have to take full responsibility or all that type of stuff just yet. The other thing with Nank is he's not going to be the captain forever. And I'm quite certain that the contract that Tasmania are going to offer Nank in 2027 is going to be too good for him to decline. The thing is, by the end of 2027, when Tassie are coming into the league, Toby Nankervis is going to be 33 years old or so. And I think he's going to have a contract on the table there for 2 to 3 years to Tassie, because they're not going to want to make the same mistakes that Gold Coast did by not having leaders in, by not having experienced players in. They're going to want to get these guys in. Brennan Gale will, obviously love Nank. Jack Rewalt's going to have stuff to do with Tassie as well. It just makes sense with that Richmond connection for Nank to probably go there. So whether Nank stays as captain I don't think he's going to be captain after 2027, because I actually don't even think he's going to be on the team. The money's going to be too good, the contract's going to be too good, and he could possibly be getting offered captaincy there as well. And if Richmond want to go in a different direction with captaincy by then, which we probably will, they probably will take it off Nank if he's like 33. But at Tassie, they could be doing a very similar thing to what GWS did and have like 3 captains to start off their time. And I think Nank could be in contention for that. So here's what I think could very well happen. I'm most likely saying they're either going to stick with Nank as captain for this year and make Taranto captain maybe in 2027, or they're going to have Toby Nankervis and Tim Taranto as co-captains. It's something that no one's talking about, and it's something that I very much think could possibly happen. And it could also happen for the 2027 season. Like, I'm not saying they're going to take the captaincy off Nank if they think he's going to Tassie. I could very well think that they could have them as co-captains for 2 years, have Taranto for captain for a couple years after that, and then we go to whoever's next. Of course, that's looking way too far in the future. I'm filming this late at night. I don't have the brain capacity for that, and it doesn't really matter. So that is a very interesting one. I think it's either going to be Nank captain next year or Tim Taranto and Nank as co-captain, which no one's really talking about, but I think is a proposition that could genuinely actually happen. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest AFL content and AFL news. Don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Who do you guys think Richmond should have as captain next year? Did you guys think about the co-captain option, or do you think they're just going to make it Taranto, or are they going to make it Nank? Again, I'd very much love to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Don't forget to also subscribe to my gaming/movie channel, which will be getting linked down below. And go and give my Instagram a follow if you haven't already, which will also be getting linked down below. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.